Hello, people. Happy 8 p.m. And Jonathan or Kenya, good to see you on. Thanks for being the first one on here. Let's see. Jonathan says live stream Wednesday. Let's get it on. Ready for Fortnite Friday, everyone. Nice. Good to see you on. So, as always, for anyone who is tuning on a little bit later, watching this video later, I actually have no idea who watches these videos after they're recorded live. But Jonathan and whoever else is hopping on right now live. I'm just giving a shout out to people who watch later. So, as usual, we have our Monday, Wednesday, Friday live streams at 8 p.m. And it's just a Q&A stream, so whoever hops on, we just have a good conversation. We answer some questions. We talk about life. And we just support each other. So that's pretty much the purpose of the Monday, Wednesday, Friday live streams. Quick, short announcement. Tomorrow, I'll be releasing my first topic video back from hiatus, meaning I've been on break for the whole making topic videos for I almost feel like I don't want to say a year, but like it's been a while. So back in the day, for the first 3 years, this is year number 4 of making YouTube videos. For the first 3 years, I used to do a weekly video, and then I transitioned to doing these live streams. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing weekly topic videos again, and stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Anyway, John, good to see you on. Thanks for always being so consistent. Like you're always on. I mean, look, a lot of you are on like consistently, which blows my mind. Which is thank you, I appreciate you all. So John, thanks for hopping on. Isaac, good to see you on. Amit, Amit, hello. Goodness. Sorry, I'm making this face because I'm like I feel like you've been on here and you've told me who you are, but I don't remember. So please forgive me for that. Uh, Hold on. What's up? Is it Aram? Because I remember we were talking about Aram last time, and it's not Aram. Yeah. What's going on? Long time no see. Thanks for hopping back on. NG Grant, good to see you on. Game Master, good to see you on. Amit says, bruh. NJ says, this is a serious question, not a trolling question. This is serious. If you can't answer, just don't. How do you not be a beta male? So is the question more like, so if we're talking about like alpha male, beta male, beta male is not a term that's often used. So how do you not be a beta male? That's a good question. Like that's if you're talking about like, so first of all, let's define what is an alpha male and what is a beta male. I am not too like, this is not my area of expertise, so I have a general idea of alpha male. Alpha male is usually portrayed as the one who's very, dominant, upfront, the one who's always in control. Well, I think a beta may be perceived more as passive. So how do you balance that? I think, okay, off the top, I'll answer off the top of my head first. I think if you don't want to be a quote unquote beta male and you want to be possibly an alpha male or someone who is kind of in control, things like that, I think really what that is about is it's about taking responsibility. I think that's all it is. Let's talk about relationships real quick, and let me know if I'm on track or off track, NJ Grant. But when so I think relationships are such a great perspective of like the alpha. Is it alpha and beta relationship? Is that what it's called? I'm not really sure. I know alpha is the dominant one, and then yeah. So I want to talk about relationships real quick. So when I think about like being the dominant person, that's the alpha, right? And I think, ooh, I think if to answer your question, if you don't want to be the beta, I think a lot of it is about just taking responsibility. It's about taking ownership and yeah, responsibility is the thing that comes up in my mind. Like if you want something, just like take responsibility for it. Like make it happen. And I've been dating someone for the past 5 months, and for me, I've noticed like, there's a side of Richard, me, who is more passive. And what I realized is like in a relationship, we all have choices. We could either be passive or we could be proactive. And there's times where I realize it's all just a choice. You know, do I want to be proactive or just let things slide by as quote unquote my, you know, personality is like, which is not necessarily true. A lot of it is just choice. What do you want to do? Okay. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Take initiation. I think that's a huge thing about not being a beta male or someone who's more passive. Yeah. So yeah, and I will say, like, if we're talking, I know we're diving into a little bit more like the whole how to be a man conversation, and I think that's a very deep conversation. It goes in a lot of different ways, and when I say how to be a man, I'm not saying how to be, you know, typical bro, male, dominant, stuff like that. I think how to be a man is how do you show up in the world where you're being your true authentic self. You know, you don't have to be that overly confident person. I think it's more about like being centered with who you are and how do you show up in a responsible way. You know, like for me, I'm not that typical, I don't know, like stereotype of a dominant man, like that whole, I don't know how to say it, like macho, big muscles, you know, things like that. That's not me. But there's still ways that we could show up as, what's the right word I'm looking for? Responsible men. Yeah. Um, Taking responsibility, take initiative. Those are two things I'm going to say. All right. Jonathan says yes. These live streams are getting views, and yeah, just you know, just a few, You know. Ami says it sounds like Amy, but spelled differently. Amy, Amit, Amit, Amit. Goodness. Alrighty. Let's see. Jonathan says, well, this just got interesting, didn't it? Awesome. Pedro Carino, good to see you on. I always love seeing that little tilde. Amit? Oh my goodness. Amy, wait, is it Amy T? Is it Amy T? Oh my god, we had this conversation. I just completely forgot. This is, yeah. Anyway, Amy. Hold on, I gotta read this one more time. It sounds like Amy, but spelled differently. Amy. Amy? Okay. I'm just going with the Amy. Cool. How's everyone? How are you all doing today? I know that's sounds like a typical question, but I'm curious to know how you all doing. And if I were to set one intention for this stream today, my one intention for the stream is that we all leave the stream today. I want to say feeling better about ourselves, feeling that we are capable of doing something and wanting to take action to move forward with our lives. Okay, so that's my one intention in a long statement is my intention for this live stream is to have everyone leave here and feel better about themselves. That's number one. And two, to take action and do something more positive or productive. Okay, so that's my goal. Believe in yourself, take action. Two things. All right. Neko Nerdo, good to see you on. Are we talking about something in particular? So today's conversation, it's very, you know, Q&A. It's open topic. So what I'm doing with my structure, like video structure, the new cover art on my YouTube. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are live streams, and then Thursday is a topic-based video, which is not a live stream. So what I think I'm going to do, and I think Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, when we do any kind of live streams, I think that it's more going to be Q&A, free flow. We'll see how the conversation goes. And another thing is like, every single day, for the most part, I'm constantly learning or picking up or thinking about something new. So I usually have a thought of the day. Let's see. Today is more Q&A, which means not so many thoughts I want to share exactly, but if they come up, we'll share and talk about them. So no specific topic for today besides Q&A, but besides the ones that you come up with. That's what I gotta say. All right. Jonathan's like, who's ready for Fortnite Friday? Nice. Isaac says, yo, Richard, do you like rap? Let's see. Rap is, I enjoy rap. Not like, I don't listen to rap religiously, but I appreciate it. And there's some stuff that just like, some stuff is pretty good. Like, oh my goodness. All right, so Eminem is my number one and when it comes to the rap game. recently this week, I've been like really sucked into designer. Just like I don't know, he has such an interesting style, you know, like he's like it's like mumble mumble rap. Um, but yeah, like I've been listening to oh goodness. I don't know. For me, if you know designer's like to me he's like I think he's pretty hype. So yeah, yeah. Favorite rapper? I'm gonna back to that. Amy says, "Oh, I listened to the Yodeling Kid." Huh, not familiar. All right, so who? All right, so here's what I want to do. Again, my goal is to make us, you know, all of us leave here feeling a little bit better about ourselves, or you know, just figure out something that we're a positive side about ourselves. So, with that being said, let's all kind of. I'm gonna casually walk us through some questions and just thoughts of today, I guess, and um, I want to start off with why this is the thought of today. I think part of it is, uh, you know, for me personally, I think I've had a lot of things come up recently, and you know, sometimes even for me, it's hard to like reconnect with who am I? What are like what are my strengths? What's my value in this world in a way? So that's my thought for today. Okay, so I think. Hmm. The question that comes to my mind right now, and this is a question that I want all of us to answer. You could type it out, think about it in your head, but preferably, you know, just jot it down. What is, what are, I guess in a way, what are some of the positive traits that make you you? Okay, so that's a question I want you to answer, which is, again, what are some of the positive traits that make you you? Like, what makes you unique in a way? What makes you different, and what's part of yeah. Oh man, a lot of different questions. I'm trying to simplify this. Okay, so let's you can answer that question, which is what are parts of your characteristic that makes you you? And then I want to answer. I'll simplify the question. What is something about yourself that you like? Okay, so let's go with that. What is something about yourself that you like? I'd love to hear that. Alrighty. Justine, good to see you on. Amy says I'm identical to my sister. None. I don't know. Let's see. Alrighty. So, yeah, I'm gonna get back to the. We'll get back to the rap conversation in just a second. I'm kind of curious about this question. Like, what are some positive things that you all like about yourselves? I think to me this is a really important question because I think a lot of us oftentimes we are often hard on ourselves, so we often put ourselves down, but we don't focus a lot on the things that we like about ourselves. I might be just projecting in a way. I mean, that's at least how I grew up. I think I grew up being very self-critical of myself. So anytime there were positives, I didn't really focus on them. I would just focus on what can I do to get better. And that's a lot of honestly how I live my life today. And I don't think that's a perfectly healthy or that's the best thing that we can do. I think with our life, it's a balance. Yes, we want to be, I guess you can say, somewhat critical so we can constantly keep growing and improving ourselves. But I think there's a part of us that we also get to celebrate the wins. We also get to love the good parts that we like about ourselves. So, quick example is like for me, I know that I'm genuinely caring. You know, there's a lot of things that I do just because I want to help other people. Like let's talk about this YouTube channel. You know, part of the reason why I do this YouTube channel is because this is just what I like to do. You know, it's a way to just connect, give back, and just create community. Because I think there's always those few people who like can like they want to connect. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you're someone who just wants to connect with the community and connect with other good positive people. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I make YouTube videos. Yeah. Yeah. I would say that's probably the best thing I like about myself is that I know I'm genuinely caring. All right, so I'd like to hear from you. What are parts about yourself that you like? All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. All right, I'm gonna just read the comments in order. Just wrapping up the, oh my goodness, wrapping up the rap conversation. Jonathan says, I could listen to some good old Tupac. Nice. Isaac says, you should listen to Shoreline Mafia. I've met them and went to a party and they were there and I was talking to them. This was before they blew up. They're really good in my opinion. Nice. Shoreline Mafia. Alrighty. I'll check them out. Neko Nerdo says, I'm slow to react. It may sound bad, but this is what it means to be calm. Like, for example, if a plate breaks, I don't scream. I just blankly stare at it and then proceed to clean it up. Nice. I like that. So just being calm. And, I agree. Thank you for bringing that up. I like that. Being patient and calm. I think that's a really powerful skill to have. I would say that's another one of my traits as well. I tend to be very calm and, not react so much when things happen. There are some occasions that where I will, but for the most part, I'm pretty chill, calm, and level-headed for the most part. Let's see. Jonathan says, my good, not good sense of humor, is that something? Yeah, that's something. If that's something that you like about yourself, then yeah, like embrace it, have fun with it. Jared, good to see you on. How am I doing today? Thanks for asking that question. That's it's such a simple question, but I think it could be a really deep question, and I think it's a great conversation starter. I think a lot of people always say like, "Hey, I'm good," and I think I like to try to answer as authentically as possible. Overall, good day. Again, there are certain things, a lot of questions in my life that I'm contemplating in a way, like we'll call it like relationships, career, just a few things. And for me, I would say I'm good and I'm pushing myself to be a better person every single day. And it's a challenge. There's some days where it's like, it's all choices. It's like, do I really want to push myself forward today? I mean, of course, yes, I do, but I'm just like, there's that resistance. So for me, today's one of those, like, it's one of those, just another one of those days where we get to make choices. What do you want to do today? Do you want to step it up? Do you want to keep pushing forward? Or do you want to stay in your resistance, get stuck? And I definitely don't want to stay stagnant, and I want to keep moving forward. Easier said than done. But again, that comes down to choices. It's about pushing through when we don't feel like doing it. So I would say, yeah, half for me today. Half action, half like a little bit in that resistance, but continuing to at least move forward. Thanks for that question. Cathartic exclamation points. Nice. Part of being hard on yourself is choosing that as the motivation for progress. But you're right, there's a balance. Let's see. Jess says, did you try the recipe I shared with you? No, I didn't try it yet. I honestly, I don't cook a lot, so I like the rest. Dude, that recipe looks delicious though. I don't cook a lot, and second thing is I'm trying to reduce eating meat, so I don't really buy meat to cook with a lot. So maybe I'll replace meat with tofu. Yeah. Thanks for the recipe though. That sounds amazing. A compliment for you is that your bottom lip looks like the cozy hammock. Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Isaac says, I'm somewhat caring. Awesome. Nice. Okay, Isaac's off-topic question. What type of car do you drive? I'm curious. Why do you ask that question? I'm always curious about that one. I drive a 2009 Honda Accord. That's I think it's a nice car. It gets me from point A to point B, and not only point A to point B, it's taken me a lot of places. So I have a lot of gratitude for my car. Like it's really taken me, like I've driven. Wow, I just said driven. I've driven, thousands and thousands of miles. went on a road trip all the way up from Southern California all the way up to Northern California, San Francisco, Reno. So I'm just super grateful that I have a car to drive, and it's served me very, very well. So thank you. My girl nicknamed my car Baby Gray, so I call him Baby Gray now, even though it's not gray. Yeah, let's see here. Jonathan says, "Hey, in that case, just do what Richard said in his last live stream. Replace the I don't want to with I get to. Really works." Yeah. I didn't create that, by the way. And just to reiterate what Jonathan is saying, a way to create a more positive mindset is anytime you feel like you have to do something, just shift the language, the verbiage in your head from I have to do something to I get to do something. So let's say you feel like you have to do homework. Shift that to I get to do homework. It's a privilege to do your homework. It's not everyone has school that they attend. And I think a lot of us, especially people who have to go to school, for many of us, especially in the United States, I think we take school for granted. I think a lot of times we feel like school is a chore. It's like we have to do it. And the thing is, education really is a privilege. It's like not everyone gets educated the way that we do. So embrace the education that you have and know that you get to do homework. It's a privilege to learn and grow, even though it is tedious. I get it. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see here. Neko says, good to know that someone else feels this resistance too. Yeah. If I were to guess, I would say the majority of people on this stream also know what it feels like to feel resistance in their life. Yeah, and I think, again, at the end of the day, it's just about pushing forward. It's about whenever we don't want to do something and we know we should be doing it, like studying, it's about just keep pushing forward. It's like I just got an email. Someone's like, anonymous is like, I'm really struggling with my classwork. I don't know what to do. And my email response was simply just keep pushing forward. I think that's really all we can do. Sometimes life is a challenge. Sometimes it's a struggle, and sometimes we want to give up. Sometimes we just feel super, super discouraged. And, staying stuck with feeling discouraged and feeling sorry for ourselves is not going to improve ourselves. It's just comforting comfort in misery in a way. It's like we can either keep feeling sorry for ourselves, which is not being productive, or we could get up and keep pushing ourselves forward. And it's tough. Like, I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking about all those moments where I struggled so much in my life. Like, I felt so disappointed in myself. I felt so like just, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. And there's a part of me that just like wanted to keep complaining. And I don't even want to use complaining. Like, it was just like, there's a part of me that just wanted to give up. Like, I didn't want to do it anymore. And I just realized, guess what? Even if I don't want to do it anymore, I still in a way get to do it. It's like, I know I'm not going to let myself fail because there is no point in failing. Like, if you're going to live life, you might as well just keep going. You might as well just keep moving forward. So that's what kind of picks me back up, especially with the whole speaking journey. Like, it's funny because talking about motivational speaking, that's my profession. It's like a lot of people think if you're a motivational speaker, you have your whole life together. And I don't think that's the case. I think it's, in a way, to some extent, yes, you have your life together, but as humans, we're always trying to push ourselves to grow. So keep pushing forward. Alrighty, let's see here. Amy says, what was your favorite show when you were a kid? Pokemon, for sure, 100% hands down. Pokemon was my life. Like, if you tell me like what's my favorite childhood dream, it's related with Pokemon. Yeah. Isaac says, because since I can almost drive, I'm looking into cars that are cheap and good. I think there's a lot of great cars. I mean, obviously, Japanese cars in general, like Hondas and Toyotas, are really good. And I mean, the cool thing about car buying is that you get to choose. I mean, if you do get to choose, you get to choose whatever car that you want. And I don't know. I think car shopping is a lot of fun. I remember getting my first car. I was so excited. Just yeah, I was super excited, and I spent so many hours researching like which car do I want to buy, and so my car, the car that I have right now, the Honda Accord, I actually didn't purchase it. I probably would not have ever purchased it because it's too standard for me in a way. My first car, let's see, besides my first used car that was that my mom bought, then it got passed to my sister, that got passed to my brother, that got passed to me. So that first one was a 1995 Honda Civic, which did fantastic. After that one got too old, I ended up switching over to a 2007 white Scion TC. That was the first car that I ever purchased myself, and that was a pretty sweet car. Like, just it's one of those, like, it's like an underdog car. Like, not many people think about it, like a Scion TC, like what? But it's like so many reasons why it's cool. The hatchback is amazing. You could fit it's a compact car, you know, 2-door coupe, but it could fit a full length file cabinet. I think that's the only coupe that could fit a full length, like 5 to 6 drawer file cabinet in the back. Like, it's ridiculous. So that's one of the many reasons I love that car. But then it got totaled, and I don't have the car anymore. Alrighty. Let's see here. Cathartic says, Baby Gray is what I call the weird gray knee hair that I found. I love it. Let's see. Giovanni, welcome to the channel. Hey, I remember you. You came to my school. Which school? Love to hear. Cathartic says, I got to pay my taxes. Does not help. Amy says, my school has been having lots of fights between people I know. What do I do if someone wants to fight me for a random reason? I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you. In my opinion, I would just say, like, don't engage. Like, you know, don't respond. Like, no, thank you. I'm good. Like, you know, if someone want to pick a fight with me, okay. So if I were in your position and someone's like, hey, you want to fight, bro? I'd just be like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't need to do that. You know, like, you don't need to engage in violence if that's not your thing. And hopefully it's not. Yeah, I've never, random fact about Richard, I've never, ever been in a fight before, besides with my brother. Yeah. Let's see. So Jonathan says, hey, Isaac. Okay, gotcha. Jonathan says, what was your childhood dream? My childhood dream was to become a professional baseball player. Let's see. If you're wondering what team, Anaheim Angels. Wait, what is it called? Is it the California Angels of Anaheim now? Wait, California Angels of Anaheim. I think that's what they call it now, which is pretty ridiculous. Cathartic says, if you were a Pokemon, you'd be a Charmeleon. My best guess. Nice. I like that guess. It's like, I could see that. Jasmine Munoz, do you remember me going to Walnut Park Middle School? Yes, I do. Thanks for hopping on, Jasmine. Let's see. Isaac. Oh, yep. Cathartic says, bring a candy cane shank to your school, defend your honor. Nice. Jonathan says, nah, I would guess he's a Charizard or a Squirtle. I like this. Isaac is looking into buying a Civic. Does anyone have a car recommendation for Isaac? Isaac's looking to buy a car. Yeah. So this is a random side question or side thought. So I don't know. I've always purchased used cars just because, like, I don't understand. For me, I don't understand the value of buying a new car. It's like, new cars are so much more expensive than used cars. Used cars are just as good, and they're like, you know, like 60 to 70% of the price. It's like so much cheaper. So that's just me. And of course, I do my research and I make sure that I buy from a trusted buyer, even though it's Craigslist. But yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of used car buying, like from Craigslist, stuff like that before. So that's my thing. I think car buying is fun. Let's see. Amy says, OMG, Richard, remember that you went to my school and you signed this kid's signed this kid's Xbox. Yeah, dude, that was crazy. I was like, first time I've ever signed someone's Xbox before. That was 3 times, not just once. It was 3 times because they apparently wanted me to sign it 3 times. Cathartic says, nah, he's not fully evolved. He's still on his journey to self-discovery, but I'd say Squirtle is a good bet. I love it. So deep, man. So philosophical. Mackenzie, good to see you on. Mackenzie says, I'm late. I was sleeping and I just woke up. Good morning. Good to see you on. Thanks for hopping on. Let's see. Cathartic says, you can lick the blood off the kid cane after you stab them. Oh my goodness. You're funny, man. Or woman. Let's see. Isaac says, to be honest, I have a really bad temper, so I would easily get mad. What was that conversation regarding? Let's see. Oh, we're talking. Is that regarding the whole like keeping things calm or the fights one? I think we're talking about fights. Yeah, yeah. So, Isaac. I want to talk about temper for a second. So, I think when we're all growing up, we all have to like work through. We'll call it just temper in general. I think keeping control of our temper is a practice. It's a skill, and I think about people like my dad, who sometimes he loses his temper, and I think that's kind of if you want to learn how to control temper, it's just practice. It's about even when you feel a lot of that like pressure. I think a lot of it is about like learning how to keep ourselves calm and not react to it. I'm speaking from my own personal experience. I remember growing up, I used to have just like feel really, really heated about things. I'm just like, ugh. And then it's weird because like today, I I don't have a bad temper, or I'm like, there are occasions where family members can piss me off, but for the most part, I'm very chill. Like it would be like, what is it? What's something rare? It's like we'll call it once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon, it's so rare that you'll see me like yell because anytime something upsets me, I process it internally. I'm just like, okay, cool, okay, I get it. All right, I'm frustrated, but it's okay, and I just move forward from it. So, controlling temper is just a practice. That's all. Let's see here. I'm gonna say Akshit. Akshit. That's a interesting name to pronounce. How important is high school GPA for college? Extremely important. So if you're in high school or if you're in middle school, and you're looking at high school GPA, I think high school GPA is really big, especially for colleges. Now, how important is high school GPA for life? I think what's more important about GPA in regards to life is it's really about how much you learn to discipline yourself. I think that's the most important thing about GPA. So it's more to me. I think GPA is more of a self-assessment, but for colleges care a lot about GPA. So definitely work your butt off to get good grades in high school. Yeah, and for anyone who's in middle school right now, like sometimes I think when we're in middle school, we don't think our grades matter that much, even though we know that they do. But I think the most important part about middle school to me is that it's preparation for high school, which is preparation for college. So if you learn how to develop like really, really good habits in middle school, it's going to make high school really easy for you or easier for you, which is going to make college easier for you, which is going to make life easier for you. So honestly, like I know it's easy, like, oh, okay, then I'll push it off and I'll get better grades later. No, like it's one of those things that you got to start now. You got to start pushing yourself now to get better grades, to start developing yourself. Because if you start developing yourself now, you're going to feel better about yourself when you get older. And it's interesting. Like when we're kids, I think we don't really see the impact that our childhood has on our future. Like literally, some of the most important years of your life is when you're a kid. Like from when you're born, all the way up to being a teenager, I would say. I think those are some of the most important years when you develop and become the person that you are. And sure, when you're in your 20s, you're still learning and growing. And even for me, I'm in my 20s right now, and I'm still learning and growing every single day. Let's see. Isaac says, if I get a Honda, let's race. LOL. Hilarious. Jonathan says, there's no point in buying a new car. You pay uh 1/100th of the new car price and get something that probably works better than a new car. Nice. McKenna says, "I just landed in LA. I want off this. I want to get off this plane." Hey, welcome to California. That's super cool to hear that you made it here safely. Uh, Great to hear, and I hope you have a wonderful trip. Disneyland and everything else. Enjoy. Mackenzie says, "I'm so tired. I was watching the Lego movie, then fell asleep. That was like 4 hours ago." I heard the Lego movie was really good. That's coming from my 28-year-old friend, and I'm just like, really? So I haven't seen it yet, but I hear a lot of good things about it. So yeah. Amy says, "What are your guys' favorite anime?" Mine was Shrek. Nice one. Let's see. Oh my goodness. It's like I want to answer the question. Like I don't watch a lot of I personally don't watch a lot of anime. Unless you want to count Pokemon, which is not really. I think that's a little bit different. But I can't remember what my favorite anime is, so I have to abstain with that one. Jonathan says, "Craigslist is a reliable source. I might have almost gotten killed once or twice, but I have gotten lots of stuff. So it worth it if you're willing to risk a couple of crazy sellers." Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Craigslist, like, I personally had a pretty good experience, and one thing, when I shop on Craigslist, I use my sense. Like I really sense it out. Like, is this a trustworthy seller? So those things are important to me. Like, I remember there's one guy. I was buying a car, right? And I was like, "Hey, can I see the car?" And I met up with the person, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, like, I'm selling for this." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's a really good price. Do you have the title?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, like my brother in Florida has to sign it and blah blah blah. Like, it's not my car." I'm just like, no thanks. Like, I didn't buy the car from them because they weren't the original owners of the car, and so I don't know if the car was stolen or not. So, yeah, it's just about like having good awareness. Just aware, stay aware. Let's see here. Mackenzie says, "Better than the Lego movie was better than the other ones in my opinion." Cathartic says, "I think it's important to look at the college and then figure out what the average is and stay around there. If you're thinking about doing a sorority or fraternity, get good grades." Thanks for the tips and thoughts around grades and are they important. That's a good one. So let's say you're trying to get into college. That's a great dude. That's so smart. So if you want to figure out how important your high school grades are, that's a great thing to look at. Look at what college you want to go to, college/university. What's their average GPA, and aim to get that GPA or higher. Obviously, the higher the better. And I mean, I think this is pretty basic, but along with grades, of course, your test scores are really important. So I guess SATs test scores and extracurricular things like activities, clubs, sports, things that you do outside of school. I think a lot of schools, if I were to, it's been a while since I've done the research on it, but like I think a lot of schools today, they're not just looking at grades and test scores now. Like I think they're focusing even more on extracurricular. How involved are you with the community, with clubs, with, I don't know, speech and debate, or dance or music? Like they want to make sure that you're balanced. Yeah. And chances are they're not looking at how many wins you have on Fortnite. Sorry. I know. Neko says, "I know one way to keep moving forward, but it's really grim because it involves death and it's different for everyone. Not sure if I should share it here." Interesting. Neko, I'm open to hearing it. Let's hear it. What are your thoughts? Like if you mean like it's a real way to keep moving forward, like a real thought, I'd love to hear it. It sounds like, if it involves death, it sounds dark, but I think sometimes, like sometimes those kind of stories or thoughts can support us in moving forward and keeping us going. So if that's working for you, yeah, let's hear it. I'd love to hear about it. Cathartic says, if it helps, literally no one will ask about your high school GPA after you get into college. Yeah, exactly. And uh, just like getting into college, guess what? When you're out in the real world, no one's going to ask what your GPA was in college. Nobody cares. Like, people might ask, hey, what college did you go to? Hey, what high school did you go to? But no one ever asks what GPA that you have. So, yeah, nice one. Jonathan says, okay, I'll watch it one of these days. If I find it's the pile of dust, it's probably in. Keely says, when people say they care, do they really mean it? When I was away in college visiting home, I was ignored when I reached out. Really, that depends. I would be careful to generalize when people say they care. Oh, I care about you. That really depends on the individual. And some people, when they say they care, it can really mean that they care. And other people, there's 3 categories I'm going to give you right now. Number 1 is people that say, hey, look, I really care about you. And then you get it, and you can see that they care about you. That's number 1. Number 2 is they say they care, but you don't feel like they care, but they actually do. So that's number 2. And number 3 is they say they care, and they don't really care, which... The only situation I would think of where someone, the main situation I would think of, if someone says that they care but they don't mean it, is if you were trying to pry at something. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're walking down the street and you talk to some random stranger. I'm like, hey, look, I'm really going through a tough time. Hey, do you care about me? They're like, yeah, of course I care about you. Like, if you're forcing someone to say it, then that's the only time I would think that it may not be completely authentic. Otherwise, if people are saying that they care about you, I think chances are that they probably care about you. But it really depends on the individual. Let's see. Amy says, have you ever had any paranormal experiences? Ooh, getting into that zone. No, I have not. And I prefer not to have any paranormal experiences, please. Thank you very much. Dewey, we're good to see you on. By the way, I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. I know we're talking about ghosts and stuff, but yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I used to be freaked out by like ghosts and all this stuff in my house, and now I don't care. I'm just like, I always make a joke. I'm just like, if I see a ghost, like a ghost is right in front of me, I'm like, hey, get out of here. Like, stop bothering me. I'm trying to sleep here. And then I just imagine the ghost just like walking away with his head down, like, oh. Yeah. Alrighty. Cathartic says, I'm sticking around this chat for the compliments. I'm funny. I'm smarter. That's nicer than everything my family ever said my whole life. Subbing. Oh, hey, no, like seriously, looking at your profile picture, I was just like, I'm expecting some troll comments here, but you got some pretty good stuff. You got good comments. You got some good humor. So thanks for imparting your personality into this channel. Isaac says, still gonna put my wins in the resume. Isaac is referring to Fortnite wins. We're talking about college app and resume. And I was saying how colleges aren't going to look at how many wins you have in your resume, but Isaac will still put it in. Jonathan says they don't look at how many wins you have on Fortnite. Genius, 10 out of 10. There we go. Jonathan says, in that case, I'll include my PUBG wins. Oh goodness. Say Bob, good to see you on. Say Bob says, I'm back. Love your stream yesterday. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Tuesday? No, not Tuesday. Wait. You mean Monday? Yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah. Cathartic says, also keep in mind that just because someone didn't have the reaction you wanted when you reached out doesn't mean they don't care. People have lots of different ways of caring. Ooh, goodness, look at this. Who's this person in this chat room, huh? Cathartic, always full of wisdom. We got a like ancient philosopher right here. I love it. No, seriously, like really good stuff. I agree with that. Just because what'd you say? Just because you don't get the reaction that you wanted doesn't mean that they don't care. I agree with that, because sometimes it goes down to communication, and we as human beings, we all show care in different ways. Like, I'm gonna talk about my dad real quick, okay? So my one thing that I wanted growing up is I just wanted my dad to listen to me. Like I just wanted him to like quote unquote care about me and understand what was going on in my life. Guess what? I never ever had a really close relationship with my dad. Like I never had the dream relationship that I wanted. You know, that typical that stereotype American father-son relationship where, you know, the father and the son, they're playing catch, they're playing baseball outside in the backyard, stuff like that. Like I never had that relationship. And I was always, ooh, oh my goodness. Sorry, today during a presentation, someone asked me, have you ever had resentment towards your parents? And now that I think about it, in the past, I used to resent my dad because he never, quote unquote, cared for me in the way that I wanted him to. Does that mean he didn't care for me? No, it didn't. You know, just because I didn't have a close relationship with him, it doesn't mean he didn't care for me. The thing is, what I found out like later on is that my dad, like, he has a certain mindset whereas like he doesn't know how to like relate with and understand his children. And the way he shows care is just by passing on his knowledge from, you know, the books that he's read, passing on his knowledge from his life experiences, and also little tasks like, you know, he likes to make my bed, he likes to cut fruit for me, you know, take care of the plants, take out the trash, stuff like that, clean the house, because that's how he shows care for me. Growing up, I didn't really care about those small things that he did for me. Like I just want him to be there for me and connect with me, and he never did. But going back to your point, and Keely, to your conversation, people show care in different ways. All right. Let's see here. Amy, thanks so much for hopping on, and have a wonderful evening. Jonathan says, I keep thinking it's Thursday. Say Bob says your streams are the best. Keep it up. Do you do this every single day? So I used to do it every single day, and I realized just to balance and create different types of content, I'm now streaming Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, which I think is a perfect amount. It's pretty much every other day. And I do, yeah, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah. Isaac says, once I dated this girl, she said she cared really didn't and left me, but the honest truth, I didn't really care. Also, I guess she felt like she was so cool when she left me, and I was like, okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know, like, the thing about relationships, you know, when like people leave each other, or, you know, they say they care and they don't care, and, you know, we perceive, do they really care about us? Like, I feel like a lot of this stuff gets really into subjectivity. And what I mean by that is like, we don't really know what's true, what's not true. We can only guess because we don't really understand what the other person is thinking. Maybe, let's say the other person treats you really cold, and there's like, yeah, oh, first they're like, yeah, no, I really care about you, babe. And then, you know, whatever, they cheat on you, or they do something that's really cold, they ignore you. Does that mean they don't care about you? We can assume, you could make an assumption that they don't care about you, or maybe there's a different backstory. Maybe they're, I don't want to go into the stories. We could have a whole conversation about this, but the point is like, sometimes we should be careful with the assumptions that we make, whether or not someone actually quote unquote cares about us. Okay. Alrighty. Say Bob says we need more people like this. Thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate it. Jonathan says he was cool. Yep. Neko says a classmate of mine passed away over 2 years ago. It's a shame because he would have been a successful person today. But then I thought, hey, I can try to be successful for him. I'm still alive. Wow. Neko Nerdo, that's super powerful, and thank you for sharing that. I'm getting chills because that reminds me of a friend of mine. So a friend of mine, both his best friends passed away within a 2-month span. Like, is ridiculous. And so my friend he's the founder of this really big entrepreneur conference called Thrive. And like, he's Neko, just like you, he's done the same thing in the way that like he felt so guilty that you know, his friend, his best friend, died in the car accident, in the same car that he was in. You know, he survived, but his friend died, so he felt so guilty. He became really depressed and just, you know, obviously didn't care about life anymore. And but he realized, like, in that moment, that his best friend. So I'll use names, okay? So my friend's name is Cole Hatter. He's a very successful entrepreneur. If you search Cole Hatter, Cole Hatter, you'll see a lot of things about him. Like, he's kind of a big deal. He has, you know, thousands of followers, tens and thousands of followers. Anyway, point is, like, Cole's friend passed away, and he's like, as much as Cole wanted to give up on his life, he realized that, you know, his friend who passed away, like, the best way that he can honor his life is by making the most out of his life, out of Cole's life, for the time he has on this earth, and to go all in. So that's why he created Thrive. That's why he created this huge movement, and Cole Hatter's, like, he's impacting tons of lives. Like, it's ridiculous. So Cole's one of my mentors. He's a friend. He's a mentor of mine, and someone I definitely look up to because he has such a great heart. And so yes, definitely utilizing people's stories. You know, if people pass away, that could definitely fuel us. So thank you, Nekonerdo. Appreciate it. Cathartic says, I have the same issue with my dad. He would only tell me he loved me when he was drunk. So what I did was start drinking with him. It made it easier. Not a troll comment. I'm serious. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Cole is attractive. He's single. He can go all in any day. Okay. Cole is not single. He's married. Yeah. So if you want to, for anyone who's interested in checking out Cole or his conference, you could check out attendthrive.com. That's the conference website. I'll probably be going this year. I've been going for the past 2 years. Wait, 3 years? 2 years. 1, 2, 3. 3 years. So this will be my 4th year. And it will be in Vegas in probably October or so. Attendthrive.com. One of the best entrepreneur conferences that I've ever been to. Like, some of the biggest world leaders go there, especially in the entrepreneur space. So for anyone who's into entrepreneurship, I highly recommend that conference. Bob says, my friend's friend got hit by a bus in school. I saw it. It was the most sad day of my life. Ooh, goodness. Oh, goodness, that is tough. Yeah, I just recently had yeah, I've had a recent connection pass away. Multiple connections pass away. So it's tough. Yeah. All right. Neko says, wow, I'd feel guilty too if I was in his position. Thanks for sharing your story too. Learn something from it. Yeah, it's crazy. I wish like, that's funny. I'm saying I wish you could all hear Cole's story. Cole has such a powerful story. So I only shared with you the first friend that died. And again, like, less than 2 months later, he went mountain biking with his other friend who was in the car, who also survived. And his other friend, this is not a made up story. They went mountain biking and they went over a cliff, and right over the little bump, not a cliff, it was just a little bump. There was a huge a mine shaft, and it wasn't blocked off, it wasn't closed. His friend fell down through the mine shaft, hundreds and hundreds of feet, and he died. Cole also went over the little bump, and he was falling into the hole, but he was lucky enough to grab a tree branch before, so he survived. So I don't know, that's crazy. Like, how is that real? Like, that sounds like such a movie. Yeah, it's crazy. Just, whew. Anyway, that's what we got. Alrighty. Isaac says, my grandma died recently. My whole mom's family is in a depression. Yeah, sorry to hear that. And I don't know how many of you heard this story, but my dad almost passed away a couple years ago. And yeah, it was, he went into a coma. He had some traumatic brain injury. He went to a coma, and we were told by the doctor that he had 2 to 3 days to live. and that was such a surprise to me. I was just like, is this really happening? That's crazy. And what's weird, I'm just going to share with you my experience because I think it's a little bit different. I think the typical experience when someone is um, when someone passes away is people get depressed. And for me, I don't know because my dad didn't actually die, but in that moment that I got that news, it was weird. Like I was super shocked and like it got to a point where I was pretty sure that he was gone because we were already planning like his funeral type of thing a little bit. So anyway, the point is like in that moment I just had this a little bit like a appreciation and kind of like it was a little bit of a peace. Like a peace that you know what? Everything is meant like we're all human beings, we're all gonna die. Okay? Like it's a part of life and the peace that I had in that moment that I thought my dad was gonna die was just like, hey, you know, it sucks, but it's life. You know, it's like what can we take away from this and how do we move forward from it? And anyway, that's just my experience. I'm not trying to take away from anyone else's experience of death and loss. Like that stuff is really, really tough, and we all have different experiences from it. And I don't know. Like I don't know how I'd actually feel. You know, let's say a few weeks or a few days, a few weeks, few months, years after my dad passes away. So yeah, I mean that's a. I know that's a. We're opening up a whole can of worms here, but yeah, hopefully, I guess really why I'm diving deeper into this conversation is one, it was brought up. Number two, I think we could learn a lot from it. And number three, I think for me, it's like I think we get to appreciate our life and we get to appreciate, you know, all the amazing things that we have. Sometimes we complain about the most basic first world problems that we have, and you know that's okay. It's valid. But remember the bigger picture that we have in general, we have good health and that we're still alive. So we got to be grateful. I got to be grateful for everything that I have, you know, every single day. And so do you as well. We all do. So that's what I got there. Alrighty. Um, Save Bob. No, I'm not. I'm not thinking about getting a gaming chair. Nah, I'm good. Let's see. I think he already has one. What is this? No, I have I have a really cheap like office chair. Yeah. Yeah, gaming chair. That's exactly what it is. Isaac says, "When I die, I want to be out in a Gucci casket, and I want them to be hyped because I don't want people to get depressed when I do." Yeah, yeah. I think um, that's interesting. For me, it's fascinating to see that we live in a culture where when people pass away, it's usually sad. You know, it's there's a lot of sorrow, and I know Isaac. I don't know how serious you're being, but I think in a way, some people when they die, they request that their funerals be more of a celebration of life. And you know, I think if I were to die, that's kind of what I would like for me. It's like it's a celebration of life. It's a celebration of just being grateful that we had this time on Earth, that we experienced what we experienced, and uh, yeah, that's it. You know, that's what I got. Jonathan says, "Who's the jerk that disliked?" It's all good. Um, let's see. Isaac says, "Pretty serious." Nice. Bob says, "Who's that jerk who disliked fifth person?" Hmm. It's all good. Alrighty, peoples. So, great conversation today. I had two goals for today that I'm not sure if I hit yet. Goal number one is for all of us to leave the stream feeling better about ourselves. Number two is inspired to take action. Okay. So in regards to feeling better ourselves, you know, I talked earlier about what are the positives. What do you like about yourself? What's something positive about yourself that you bring to this world? For me, I think I bring my heart. I bring vulnerability, connection, and I guess in a way community. So my question to you is, what do you bring to this world? And that's a serious question that I want you to think about, you know, like right now. Just think to yourself, what do you bring to this world? Yeah. And in a way, how can you support other people? How can you make other people's days better? So that's number one. Number two is, in, like, I guess, inspiring to take action. That's my second objective for today. So what's something that we can do moving forward. I think action is super, super important. I think the best way, I don't know, for me, I'm a storyteller. Like the best way for me to kind of share or inspire in a way is just to share what's on my mind for myself in my life. So for me, the action, like what I want to do and like what I want to take action on. Whew. For me, my action is to improve my speaking presentation. Like, so of course, yes, I'm a professional speaker. But like one thing is like when it comes to the speech presentation, I understand that every little detail in a presentation can make a difference in someone's life. So I got to put in that work to, whatever, craft those little pieces so it can make that little bit more of an impact. So that's me. Yeah. And then I want to throw the question back to you. What's an action that you want to take or you will take to forward your life and make, I don't know, make this world a better place? Okay? I want you to think about that. Alrighty. Jonathan says, this live stream did not feel as long as the other ones. Awesome stream, though. Jonathan, thank you very much. Today's live stream was, 61 minutes, so an hour and 1 minute. So it was just as long as the other streams. Yeah, perfect. Isaac says, you should do a 24-hour stream. Ooh, that would be interesting, right? Oh, goodness. That'd be fun. 24-hour stream. I'm going to... Isaac, I'm going to plant that little seed in my head to do a 24-hour stream, okay? I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but I'll plant the seed, and we'll see if we actually do it. That'd be pretty intense. I'm not sure why I would do it. Perfect Horizon, thanks for hopping on. Yes, we are ending our live stream today. However, let's see. We have a topic video that we'll be releasing tomorrow. I don't know what the topic is yet, but you'll find out pretty soon. Yeah, I think I'll release at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So no live stream tomorrow, but there will be a video tomorrow. And then Friday, the day after tomorrow, we'll have another live stream Q&A at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then right after, we'll play some Fortnite because it's Fortnite Friday. All right? Let's see here. Perfect says, I've always watched videos, but not a live stream. Well, welcome to the live stream. And yeah, so this is the new thing that I'm starting to do more of. I've been doing live streams. Well, I've been doing live streams for the past year and a half or 2 years. But yeah, on this YouTube channel, probably like the past, I don't know, 6 months or so. 3 months, 6 months, something like that. All right. Yeah. Johnson said, Cathartic says, good night. Cathartic, thanks so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for hopping on and just contributing your awesome, I don't know, wisdom and perspective and humor as well. All right. Jonathan says, do it. I will stay on all 24 hours. Do it Friday. That's hardcore. I'll have to like, that's crazy. Sometimes if you make a suggestion, I'll actually consider it. Like I'll just be like, do I want to do a 24-hour live stream? So we'll see. I mean, let's see. Longest live stream I've done, topic-wise, I think I've done literally talking for 2.5 hours. So that's the longest I've done. While doing something interactive, like whatever, playing games or designing something, I've done live streams up to 4 hours before. So, yeah, that's what I got. Neko says, well, think about those questions. Have a nice day all. All right, Neko, thanks so much. Thanks for your contribution to the conversations about, death and how that motivates us to keep moving forward. Perfect says, we'll do. You want to be like a League of Legends streamer? Nah, I don't want to be a straight up game streamer. Like that's, for me, gaming is more social and just to chill. I don't want to take it too seriously. I don't want gaming to take over my life. It's just social and for fun. That's all. Let's see. Johnson said, if not, make a 12-hour stream. This is tempting. All right. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks so much for hopping on and awesome conversation today. You guys are awesome. Have a great night, and I'll see you in 2 days, Friday, 8 p.m. Okay? Take care, everyone. Join our Discord channel. We'll have conversations offline on our Discord channel, which is posted in the description of this video. Okay? Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.